It's the 2014 Making a Difference Awards, all part of the Green Carpet event here at Northwest State Community College. I'm Rick Small. Thanks for joining us. Big night tonight. 3 honorees. I say that in a general sense. We have the individual John Wilson, our organization tonight, the Wauseon Rotary, and our company and business is Rupp Seeds out of the Wauseon area. And you're going to find out that these people and organizations have really reached out internationally. Mari Yoder is back with us from Northwest State Community College. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is always a big night out here where we can really honor individuals, organizations, and businesses truly making a difference here in Northwest Ohio.
It is. It's a really exciting night, and that's what Northwest State is all about, as being a community college. We're about serving the community, and we are so thrilled to be able to share this and to honor others who also serve the community.
This is an event that has grown, and people have really embraced this. I mean, we have some good times here. Aside from honoring the people and the organizations and the businesses, we have silent auctions and great entertainment, and folks really look forward to this event.
They really do. We try to come up with a different theme every year, and this year we have a Mardi Gras theme, and so we have the Cakewalk and Jazz Band out of Toledo who's coming to play. We have Kelly Patrick Clark who's going to come and entertain as well. We have a mime down there, so it's going to be just a fun evening.
Tried to get the mime for an interview, but he wouldn't say a word, and otherwise the jig would be up, so to speak. We talk about the growth of Northwest State Community College. The foundation is a major part of that.
It really is. This year we gave away a huge amount of scholarships, and that is truly what helps a lot of kids make the difference, or adults make the difference. I can't tell you how many people have come to us after they got their scholarship and said, thank you, if I didn't have this, I might not be able to continue on, because going to school is expensive. And a lot of our students are also trying to raise families and support homes. The average age of our student is 28 years old. And so it's not just the kids coming out of high school. We have a lot of kids coming out of high school who come here because they can get their first year to a college at a lot cheaper price than going to a 4-year university. But we have a lot of adults who are coming back to get retrained, and our employers are telling us there are jobs there, but they need skills, and they can get their skills here.
I love how you embrace the non-traditional student. When I say that, not your typical 18, 19-year-old, but those that may find that it's going to take a degree to take that next step in my life and my career. And especially when you look back 7 or 8 years ago, when it seemed like the economy tanked, a lot of folks had to wake up to the fact it's going to take something special, and they found it's something special here at Northwest State.
They have, and we've been meeting with manufacturers lately because if you notice, the unemployment rate is going down, but we have manufacturers telling us they can't find people. They have jobs, but they cannot find people with the skills they need. And a lot of those skills don't require a 2-year degree, but they require some skills. And so you can come here and get a 16-week class. You might be able to do something in a year. There's a lot of programs where they work at the job, but also take classes here with their employers. So there's just a wealth of opportunities, and we hope people will look at them and consider talking to us about what's available out there.
I love how you shape curriculum due to that. You guys really listen to business and industry to see what's needed out there, and Northwest State can then find the curriculum to make that happen.
We do. If you notice, we have a new addition going on to the college right now. The new Advanced Manufacturing Center is going to be opening this summer and fall, and it is in a direct response to the needs of the employers. We started a welding program a little over a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago, just in a response to the need for welders in our communities. 10 years ago there wasn't a need, and so our welding program had kind of dried up. But now they're telling us there's a huge need, and so we're working on training people. We do the same thing with IT specialists. They're telling industrial maintenance, CNC operators, plastics. I can't tell you how many plastics companies are in our region, and we have a program here, but we can't get enough students in it to feed all the people who are telling us they have jobs.
And it works. I have a son gainfully employed in the plastics industry with a degree from Northwest State Community College, so it does work.
That's awesome. And a lot of people look at manufacturing and they still think of the old days of manufacturing, of it being dirty and messy and just a lot of grunt work. It's different now. It's so computerized, and a lot of these factories you go into, and they are clean and they are nice, and they're just looking for people who can problem solve, run the machinery. They have some ability to move with the job, to change as you get software upgrades, things like that. So that's what we're trying to train them for.
Always nice to see you. Enjoy this special evening out here.
Thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see more people out here at Northwest State.
Our business award winner this year is Rupp Seeds, and we want to congratulate them. And joining us, 2 of the members of the family, so to speak, we have Roger and Phil. Gentlemen, congratulations first off.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here, and I'm going to take you back to 1946. Sylvan Rupp is the man that got this all started, which was your father, and it has really grown since 1946. Tell us about some of the early years, first off.
Well, in 1946, I wasn't there. That's the most important issue.
We'll point that out. Well, that's clarifying age first and foremost. But those early years, I mean, it started from a seedling, so to speak, and my, has it grown.
Yeah, my father was entrepreneurial, and he did a number of ventures before the seed industry. He was contracting popcorn for a Yoder Popcorn Company at Shipshewana, or Topeka, Indiana, for years, and we had a big, long popcorn crib, and I grew up sorting off-type ears of corn out of the popcorn when it came in. And then through some of those, he got a dealership for Feaster Hybrid Corn Company in El Paso, Illinois. And I think that came probably at about the same time that he started our seed business at home, and that was because of family relationships with Feaster out in Illinois, and that I think is what encouraged him to get in the seed business here in Ohio.
Started with just a couple of varieties, and then it really grew.
Yeah, it was oats, and then we went into small grains and soybeans, and I know that in the 50s we were doing more of that. And we were still a very small seed company.
We talk about seed, sprouting growth, and from Wasion to worldwide, you guys have made your footprint.
Yes, the business has certainly grown. Dad's done a wonderful job getting us started into some new businesses. The opportunities arose, and so from those early days of corn and soybeans and seed oats, and then into vegetable seed in '85, and then here recently, actually about 15 years ago now, we've started doing some plant breeding where we're releasing our own lines of pumpkins, winter squash, and gourds.
I'm just going to guess you got somebody other than name Rupp that helps you out with all of this process, too.
We certainly do, yeah. We have about 45 full-time employees. The business is very seasonal, so in the winter when we're busy shipping orders, we have seasonal help that comes in and gets us through that time, so as well as in our breeding and our research trials in the summer. But we have a great group of employees that have, they've grown with our business and the challenges that we have in having a diversified business that's growing, and so they've done a great job in sticking with us. So.
And nationally and internationally speaking, Africa is a big thing with you guys too.
Well, we hope, and we're just getting started there. We're seeing some sales and some traction with a number of seed companies. It's interesting just to learn about their business climate and how different it is from what we're accustomed to here in the U.S. But it's a developing market for us. There in Europe, Germany, United Kingdom, France are some countries where we're selling some of our proprietary products as well. So.
I just want to say congratulations. It's well deserved. You guys have a business. It's remarkable because you know how to really give back to, in a sense, and I say that nationally and internationally and right here at home with its start in Wasion. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Our company was started by my father, Sylvan Rupp. He was a person that was always quite entrepreneurial. He was in the popcorn business. When I was a kid growing up, we had a 200-foot long double popcorn crib back behind the buildings here. And at that time, Dad's office was his bib overalls pocket. And we had a scale out here to weigh the popcorn, so there was a little scale shanty. And we were pretty lean on what he started with.
And my dad, over the years, as an entrepreneur, has kind of got us into some new businesses where we were selling our own brand of corn and soybeans, started in vegetable seeds, and then we're doing some breeding in pumpkins, winter squash, and gourds.
I started farming in 1980 with my dad, and my dad was actually with Rupp Seed before that even. And so, for me it's been 34 years I've been with Rupp's. I'm not a big grower. I actually grow seed for them as well, but I'm not a big farmer, but I get the same benefits as the big farmers get.
I think one of the things that's been key to our growth has been just that product selection, making sure that we're bringing products to our customers that are going to meet up with their needs. In some cases, that can be disease resistance, so that their yields are improved because we've dealt with and managed some diseases or insects. Other cases, we're just giving them a higher quality food product that brings repeat business to their retail farm stand, and so they're seeing growth and we're seeing growth along with them as they bring a better product to market.
I like doing business with a family-owned company, a small company, but they back it up with a good product.
I've come up with some unique ones. We have one decorative pumpkin that it's unique in its breeding because it's developed from two different species being put together. They come out with a white pumpkin with a red veining on the pumpkin. To me, that was just a natural. Call that one too many after that guy that had one too many. And that's our second bestseller right now.
You see Roops at the benefits, you see them at the school, the Pumpkin Fest, they're there. They're very generous with their giving throughout the community and giving back to the community.
When we're doing our vegetable trials, there's a lot of produce that we harvest. The employees can take, they can take some of that home, but there's usually more than we're going to consume, so there's a lot of times that produce is provided to like the senior center in Fulton County, the Seagate Food Bank of Northwest Ohio. We'll also provide seed to some organizations in Kentucky, West Virginia area where they need to raise more food.
And I can remember a time when the farm economy wasn't all that wonderful. And I can remember Roger making a statement. He said, I would love for this business to do better and better and better. And my biggest reason is because I want to treat my employees the best I possibly can. And that really stuck with me because he wasn't necessarily worried about himself. He was worried about his employees. He wanted to reward their faithfulness.
And I think those two things, that it's not just a business, it's not just a company name, it's the family name, and we're stewards of this. And we want to see some reward for our investment as owners, but at the same time, it's more than that. It's being a steward of the business and seeing that business be successful for another generation.
My daddy always said Rupp was English and Rupp was German. So we've been caught saying Rupp seed, Peggy Roop speaking. So we don't even know how to do it quite right. I'm going to be pretty short and sweet with my words. If you want to know more about Rupp seeds or Roop seeds, look in your book, read it. I'm not going to read it for you. I'm going to highlight some points of my life that I think were important walking and getting to here. In 1963, there was a boy that graduated from Pettisville School that had to make a serious decision. He had made one serious decision in 1961 when he said to himself, I never want to be in the seed business. And then he got a sweetheart and needed to be more serious. And so he, at that point, went and worked at Forecraft, and he decided he didn't want that. And so he committed to Rupp seeds. That was quite a situation, committing to Rupp seeds, because it was totally different than what he wanted to go through at first. And he didn't realize it was a life sentence. That was one point. The next point was we got a letter from California or Iowa Seed Company asking us to represent them with their soybeans in Ohio. We did that and it succeeded. The next point was we built a new plant in the late 70s. And I remember that point, that time, very distinctly, because my senior friends were cashing those checks on deposits at the bank on 15% interest, and so you know what I was paying. I was paying that 18 plus, and I was just making interest payments because the principal wasn't possible, and we survived that. And so I went to some new points at 85 year when, after those real tough years in the early 80s, I made the decision to start the vegetable seed business. And in 1990, we started paying off that debt with pumpkin seed. I learned one major thing about the pumpkin seed business. People would rather have 3 or 4 pumpkins rotting on their steps than to eat one. So we tried to help them out, and today we want pumpkins rotting on everyone's steps. And anyway, now this year our winter squash sales are up about 10%. Our vegetable seed sales are up about 8%. And in the first year when we were in the business, is 1985, ending June 30 of 86, we sold $42,000 worth the first year. This year, from December 1, figuring 5 work days in a week, to tonight, which is 4 days in this one, the only thing we canceled out was Saturdays and Sundays. But we sold over $100,000 worth of vegetable seed every day, from December 1 to now.
As Dad was talking, I was reminded of something I've heard a gentleman say this that we've worked with over the years, and I heard it again from his dad at the Souter Village, and that is that each generation drinks from wells they didn't dig. And I'm reminded and reminded again in hearing Dad share some of the story of our business, how he's been through some difficult times. Our company is successful and has managed to continue over these years, but it's just, I have to say, I hope that I don't have to experience some of what he's experienced. And so I wanted to add that. Now, I would also share just some things that you might not have realized about this little seed company 2 miles south of Pettisville. So I'll try to be brief here. You've already heard that we're in the corn and soybean and vegetable business. We also conduct plant breeding, product testing, and seed production in about 7 states in the U.S. as well as 5 other countries. We provide seed to over 9,000 customers in 53 states and territories of the U.S. as well as 15 other countries. Believe it or not, we have over 50 kinds of vegetable seed, and more remarkably, over 1,200 different named varieties. Most of the time people think cantaloupe, watermelon, sweet corn. They don't realize that there's that much variety. For planting this spring, we've actually sold over 140 different sweet corn varieties, enough seed to put 500 million sweet, buttery roasting ears on the dinner table. And I have to say that we are humbled and thankful for the success our business has achieved. And in reviewing the history of the company, we realize how much we've been blessed through the years. Blessed with seed growers and partners that have hung in there with us, blessed with a great group of employees that care about the company and our customers, and who've stepped up to the challenge of working for a diversified and growing company. We're blessed with loyal customers. We're also blessed with a founder in my grandpa Sylvan, who followed his heart in starting the company in 1946. We're also blessed with an entrepreneur in my dad Roger, who pursued his dreams in building the business over the last 42 years. Dad, Grandpa would be amazed and proud. As stewards of the business, we hope to continue making a difference as we help farm families feed their friends and neighbors at home and around the world.
Thank you.
Our organizational winner at the Making a Difference Awards this year is the Wauseon Rotary. And boy, have they made a difference in Wauseon, and we're going to find out on an international scope, too. I'm in the, I guess, the presence of honor here. 4 past presidents of the Wauseon Rotary Club. I'm going to start over here, and you are?
Jim Zeller,
And you are a charter member, Jim. And what year did Rotary start in Wauseon?
1962.
But you were 2 years old when that started, right? That's declaring your age, correct?
Yeah, just about.
What year were you president?
About the third year.
Third year. Took you, wanted to make sure you tested the waters, and that's exactly what you wanted to do. It's good to see you, and you are?
Jeff Robinson.
And you are a recent past president.
Actually, 1994.
1994. And
Not so recent.
well, in perspective with this, it is. Trust me on that. But what made you want to be part of Rotary?
Actually, I was invited to come down with one of the other Rotarians, and here was this group of individuals. Somebody had a birthday, and they all sang happy birthday, and I started laughing. And I thought anybody who's crazy enough and can get 50 guys to sing happy birthday to somebody is an organization I'd like to be a member of. That's actually a true story.
And it's
I found out that they were really involved in the community, and in 1982 I joined the club. They were kind enough to allow me to become a member. Glad. It was a very good thing.
I'm sure they're glad of your participation and membership with that, too. Now, Bill Strayer is a past president as well. And what year did you serve as a president?
I think it was 72, but don't hold me to that.
I will not hold you to anything, but you, too, are a charter member. Do you remember those early days of getting this club going?
Oh, I remember those, yes. I and Jim was the first 2 signers on the petition to get it started, and we were instrumental in taking that petition around to different businessmen in town and getting them signed up. We needed, I think it was 25 members before we could get a charter to start. So,
And the rest is history.
the rest is history.
All right. You still attending meetings?
Oh, yes. I have missed one meeting in 52 years.
Wow. You deserve more than a gold star for that. That's incredible. I'm going to ask Jim now. You're a charter member. How many meetings have you missed? Do you know?
Missed a few.
We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it at that. We don't want to see you get thrown out of Rotary this far along, too. And I want to thank Brett Kars, who's the current president. Good to see you, sir.
Good evening. Good to see you, Rick.
You got some real honorary people
hard
here.
Shoes to fill.
You bet. I want to congratulate you guys. We want to specifically talk about the Biddle Park, the Dorothy Biddle Park in Wauseon. I had seen some of the construction take place a few years ago. I was over there for a live broadcast last year. I was blown away, the magnificence of that, from the softball, baseball diamonds, and the green space that truly make it a true park.
Yeah, it's been a 15-year project, and it's about $4.6 million project. So I mean, it's been a huge undertaking. We couldn't do it without the support of the community. I mean, we really have to give the community a lot of kudos, because without them and Dorothy Biddle, we wouldn't be where we're at. So
It was her seed money that got this going, but the community really rallied behind this, too.
yes, we raise about $50,000 a year at our annual auction. That's the last Saturday in October. So if you're not doing anything last Saturday in October, come to the Fulton County Fairgrounds, and it's a long day, but it's well worth it. And the money's all for the last 15, 16 years has all gone to this project.
It's a beautiful park, and it's going to be enjoyed for many, many years to come. Another thing, you guys, we talk on the international level, and Rotary International, obviously, but really reaching out from Wauseon with a water project, I understand, in Haiti.
Yes, a couple years back, the Archibald Club had some connections with one of their members down there in Haiti, and came to us wondering if we wanted to get involved. They were going to do some clean water, and came to us and asked us if we would like to donate some money. And I think they were hoping to maybe get $500 or $1,000. Well, we kind of surprised them and gave them $10,000. And that $10,000 through the district matching funds and some Rotary International matching funds, just that 10 turned into like $50,000 or $60,000. The total project, I think, was, don't hold me to it like Bill, was somewhere around $150,000 or $175,000 that Archibald did. But even despite the fact that we're kind of rivals, Wauseon and Archibald, we came together on that and And actually, I'm hoping that in the next several years we do some more of those kinds of things.
I want to say God bless the men and women of the Rotary in Wauseon. Really a great footprint in Wauseon and on an international sense. Bill, you're going to pick me up in late October to take me to that fundraiser, right?
Sure, I will.
He will, too. He doesn't miss meetings, so he's not going to miss that event. Gentlemen, thanks for your time. Congratulations. The Wauseon Rotary, our organizational winner of this year's Making a Difference Award.
I'm a member of the board at Rotary. I'm a past president, I think, 1994, 1995.
I'm David, and I am the past president of the Archbold Rotary Club.
Well, I am the governor of Rotary District 6600 here in northwest and north central Ohio.
Back in 2010, when Haiti had that devastating earthquake, we wanted to, we just felt compelled to be able to respond to that in some way.
And they approached us about making a contribution. And, you know, Wauseon rivalry with Archbold is well known. And we donated 10 grand. And I think we blew the club away.
Pure Water for the World is an organization that specializes in water filtration systems all throughout the third world countries. And so we partnered with both of them, along with a local Rotary Club there in Port-au-Prince, along with almost a half dozen clubs here in Northwest Ohio.
But you know, they got involved with Archbold here a while back on an international project in Haiti to bring some relief there. They did a water project, and you know, this is kind of boomeranged across the district. They did theirs a few years ago, and now we're just finishing up another one based on that model with other clubs in the district from the other side of the district.
We're just excited to partner with some local clubs here in Northwest Ohio, including the Wauseon, Rotary Club. And we couldn't have done it without the Wauseon Rotary Club.
But probably the biggest project we've done, in fact, probably the biggest project maybe any Rotary Club's done, has been Dorothy Biddle Park. And that's been a phenomenal success story for our club.
I think the thought process behind Biddle Park was to have one location where you could have a variety of events and activities going on.
Over the past 15 or 20 years, I hate to think of how long we've been working on this, we have managed to raise almost $5 million to put into place this 60-acre park where we're providing recreational activities for the youth of our community.
Well, Wauseon has been a very good Rotary Club. You know, community-wise, they took on that money that Dorothy Biddle donated a number of years ago and have been doing tremendous things in the park with the soccer fields, the baseball fields.
Well, right now we have one softball complex, and by that, it's a complex with 4 softball fields. There's 9 soccer fields, a midget football field, and there's also 4 youth baseball fields that they're currently finishing up.
You know, we do this auction every year, and we started this auction, and I wasn't a member of the club when it started, but they literally took stuff that people would have otherwise put in a garage sale and held an auction and raised like $900 or some fairly nominal amount of money, but it was so successful. They started to expand, and some of the merchants would donate things, and now we've gone to the community, and we go to the community every year and say, would you be willing to donate something? We're going to auction it off.
When you get into $50,000, $60,000, you know, you've got a program that's working, and that auction is a little bit different than the auction we do in Maumee, but those auctions are being copied by other clubs across this district because they do raise more money than some of the other things that they're doing.
We're benefiting our community, and I think that's what really drives this club. We're very proud of what we've done, and we're very proud of what we're doing.
It took a lot of hard work and dedication through all of their members for a number of years to make this park possible.
There's a Haitian proverb that I'm not sure if I'm getting the Creole pronunciation correctly, but it's piti piti soise finish. And what that proverb means is little by little, the bird builds its nest.
The best part is when you see the kids after the games and you see the smiles on their faces. That is probably the best part of the job. When you can tell that you're making a difference for them, that's a good feeling.
Robin told me I had 3 minutes, and I told her I wouldn't get anywhere close to that. I will definitely be more brief than the Roops or Rups or. My dad always said, what, Roops have kids and Rups have money or something like that, I don't know. So it depends on whether you want kids or money, I don't know. And actually, a big thank you to them. They did help us out a lot with seed on the Biddle Park project. So, I am the current president of the Waseon Rotary Club, and I'm honored to accept this wonderful award on behalf of our current members. We have about 20 people here tonight, and our past members that have made all of this possible. As Rick had read off earlier, Rotary's motto is service above self. All that we have done and will do in the future is by this motto. We are truly blessed to live in a community that has supported us so well and to have great individuals and visionaries in our club over the years. Since the theme of this is making a difference, I'd like to recognize a few people here tonight that have made a difference. Bill Strayer, Jim Zeller, would you guys stand up real quick, please? I don't know whether you can see back there. But Bill and Jim are only two surviving founding members. And then they are member number 1 and member number 2 in the Waseon Rotary Club. Jim signed on first and Bill was second. And that all started in 1962, which was 52 years ago. So, and Bill's missed maybe one meeting in that 52 years, and I think Jim's maybe missed 2 or 3, and that's only been here recently. So it's amazing service above self there. Also, I'd like to recognize Linda Lamon and Joe Gleckler. If you guys would stand real quick. I know you don't want to, but please. Thank you. Linda's husband, Larry, and Joe's father, Marv Goldsmith, were 2 of the main visionaries and drivers behind the Biddle Park project. Without them and their motivation and speeches before auctions and stuff, we wouldn't have gotten done with what we got done. So I'd also like to thank all of the Waseon Rotary Club members that have lived service above self to make a difference in our community. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Northwest State Foundation Board for this wonderful award. And I'd like to congratulate the Root family and John Wilson for also making a difference. Thank you.
Our individual award winner here at the Making a Difference Awards is John Wilson. John, great to see you.
Good to see you too, Rick.
You have had quite a life journey. I love your life journey, in fact. First off, what brought you here to extreme Northwest Ohio? Because you weren't born and raised right here.
No, you're right. I did my student teaching at Archbold High School, and I saw this cute little junior running around with nothing to do, and I thought, you know what? But it took me 5 years to really wake up to the fact.
Had to woo, right?
Oh yeah, you gotta plant the seed. I mean, you know.
Now, you came up here for family. You say you started selling cars at Christie Motor Sales, and from there it became an educational path for you.
From there, I got a contact from Waseon High School saying they'd lost their VOAG teacher. That's my background. And Mr. Pease came and talked to me, and I said, I'm not interested in teaching production agriculture. What do we do with the guys that want to go into banking, agricultural banking, machinery, fertilizer, that sort of thing? And he just kind of looked at me. He said, well, is there anything like that? Not in the state of Ohio, I said. Well, 2 days later, he came back. He had talked to Jim Dugan, who was head of vocational agriculture for the state of Ohio, and talked Jim Dugan in, let's start a pilot program at Waseon where the kids go half days, and then we placed them in an ag-related job the other half day. 1966.
And then from there, we see the inception of, well, we're really standing in the area where you really made your imprint. We have 4 County Career Center and here at Northwest State Community College.
I started with the vocational school in 1968, right from the beginning, and we had 4 County Technical Institute in the West Wing. And then from there, they built the building in 72, and I came with the only guy, Larry Manahan from Defiance, and I were the only 2 that came from the vocational school this direction. And then from there, Maynard Souter talked me into going to Souders. And from Souders, I left there in '92 and came back over to Fort County and did supervisor management training.
Like I said, a true life journey. You've had your finger in everything.
It's got God's handprints all over it, though.
And that is really your true calling. We look at that with your prison ministry especially, and you've been doing this for quite some time. A lot of people just got into that maybe a few years ago. You did it, like I told you earlier, before it was hip.
Right. Dick Rohr, who had started the Youth for Christ program in Defiance, went with Bill Glass, talked me into coming along as a counselor, the second prison ministry that Bill had in Mansfield. And I've been off and on ever since.
What's the biggest reward you get from that?
Oh, seeing people's lives changed for the better.
Surrendering to Christ, more or less.
That's exactly right. There's nothing that I enjoy doing anymore than sharing the love of Christ with people and then seeing them respond. Wow.
You're a busy man. I'm worn out listening to your life story. What else do you like to do when you're not doing prison ministry or helping others?
Well, my wife and I like to do traveling. We have a place in Florida. We go down in the fall for about 4 to 5 weeks, and then we go down in March and April. And we thoroughly enjoy that because it's kind of get away from everything. But we're so tied back here to Northwest Ohio with family and everything else, we can't wait to get back.
Well, I want to say thank you for a job well done. Well deserved as our individual award winner tonight.
You're doing a great job, too.
I worked for John Wilson for about 8 years at Souter. I'm a retired human resources director from there. And John Wilson was vice president of human resources, and he was my boss. But I've known him personally for quite a few years. He invited my husband and I to come to see the Gideon organization, and so we've known him for a lot of years.
No, he doesn't know a stranger, because when he walks in any place, I mean, he goes right straight to them, and he's very forward about asking if you know the Lord. I mean, he don't hold nothing back.
How do I know John Wilson? Who doesn't know John Wilson? I think that's the best response.
It started about almost 25 years ago, and I met John, and it was one of those situations. It had something to do with alcohol and drugs, so he came into my life that way. Just basically me not accepting him at the first place, and then after a while, the man was very persistent by coming back to me many times, within a week, matter of fact. And I had the chance to meet who this Mr. John Wilson was at that time period, so that was an interesting time period as well.
Once in a while, he would fill a pulpit in our church. And if I could only be motivated like that man, I could do a lot more. Or when he gave me the invitation, I grabbed it right now, because it's something that I wanted to do.
Years ago, Maynard Souter, the president of Souter Woodworking, asked John Wilson to start some kind of program that would provide help for employees who were having personal problems that were affecting them at work. John created an amazing program called the Employee Assistance Program. It was a model in the state of Ohio and one of the first programs in Ohio.
He leaves a trail. I think of Hansel and Gretel. You could always see the trail that John leaves when he goes into like a school, he goes into a factory, or, I mean, he speaks to so many places, but when he walks away, there's just something about him.
Busy man, I mean, you can't catch him hardly. I mean, he's doing something all the time.
He always is caring about other people, and he's got such a charisma. Just love that guy.
Every time that you would leave to go, he would say, "Keep smiling. Remember who's in charge." And I had to laugh because one time he left a phone message for a vendor, and he said, "Keep smiling. Remember who's in charge." And the vendor called him and said, "John, you're the boss. I know you're in charge." And John explained to him who's in charge to John Wilson is God.
There's one thing he says all the time, and especially when he ends a conversation, and he always says, "Don't forget who's in charge." he has a way that just opens the hearts of other people. And when he does that, it's just overwhelming, just overwhelming.
I'll be honest, I've never heard anything bad from employees about John. He goes above and beyond for anyone who needs help. And I guess the statement I've heard the most is, he's changed my life.
You've got your programs. Look on the inside, there are 30 names there that were the planning committee that made all this possible. Let's give them a hand. Wauseon Rotary, congratulations. A little side note, Brent Carr's father is Warren Carr's, who has Carr's Implement. We started the Ag Business Program at Wauseon in 1966, and he was one of my big backers. So you see, it just keeps on going. Congratulations, Rupp, Seed. Roger, you didn't fulfill the definition. You only have a couple of kids. There's more work to be done, Roger. Side note, his dad, Sylvan, hired the first student that I placed out of the Ag Business Program, which was designed for a student to go half days in school to get their academics, and the rest of the day they worked at an ag-related business. And Sylvan was the first one that hired Sam Height, the first student that we placed. My grandfather lived in a house trailer behind us when I was a kid, and he always taught me lessons that I'll never forget. We had a man in our church that loved to pray, and when he'd end his prayer, he'd always say, "Lord, fill my cup." As soon as we get in the car, Grandpa would say, "John, that's not a good prayer." The prayer should end, "Lord, fill my cup till it overflows," because you'll never touch the life of another person until it does. Just to have your cup filled is a selfish prayer. That began to be kind of the motto of my life. As a result of that, working at 4-county joint vocational school, as it was way back in 1968, I was asked to be the spokesman for that institution around at Rotaries, at Kiwanis Club, at children's events, at whatever. And so I thought, how can I start? And this is what I came up with. There are 3 things of which I am sure. First, God is my Father. Second, Jesus has paid the price for my sins. And thirdly, the Holy Spirit's living right here. Secondly, agriculture and education are here to stay. You would expect that from an educator who was a VOAG teacher, and that's how I was trained at Ohio State University, the Buckeye State. Had to get that in there. The last thing that I had is that we are all involved in selling. No matter what our walk in life is, we are a representative of something. This then led me to the fact, as per I thought about these things, what is it that is most important to me beyond salvation? I'd like to introduce you to my wife of 54 years. Stand up, Joanne. You probably don't know, but I met her when I student taught at Archbold High School in vocational agriculture, and she was a junior in high school. It took me 5 years to realize what God had for me. But I'm a quick mover. I was teaching school at LaRue down in Marion County and had a small engine workshop at Bowling Green. And I wondered if that Joanne Beck was still single. So I called. Her mother answered. I said, would Joanne be there? She said, no, but who is calling? I said, John Wilson. She said, I'll tell you what, you call back at 7:30 and I'll see that she's here. Didn't take me long to figure that one out. 4 days later, we had our first date Well, actually, it was our second date, but that's a whole nother story. We had our first date on July the 6th. I gave her her diamond on August the 22nd, and we were married December the 26th. That was 54 and a half years ago. I may be stupid, but I'm not dumb. This award just overwhelms me because I can think of so many people around Northwest Ohio that's so much more deserving. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say it sarcastically. I say it because I mean it. I look around this room, a lot of people in this room that my life and your life is intertwined with, and I'm so appreciative of that. And I want to thank you for this award, but I'm very humbled in receiving it. And I want to close with, always remember, who's in charge?
You know, in a perfect... I turned 50 just like Rick did this year, and I got one of the samples in the mail that would... I realize this is a family show, I'm trying to keep it clean, but... And I don't mean to embarrass anybody or myself, I flushed it down the toilet because I don't need anything like that. And man, I can't get the toilet seat to go down now. I'm so sorry. But you know, in a perfect world, the mic stand would work, and it would just be perfect. And in a perfect world, everybody would have a cakewalk and jazz band and a folk singer with 3 names sing at their event. This is the title track of my 7th CD, and as a guy that's played music my whole life, this is a pretty exciting couple weeks because this is the most popular song, the #1 folk song in the United States this week is this song. In a perfect world, there'd be no black or white, no shadows long, be no darkest night. There's just be shades of gray and an endless world. That's what it would be like. In a perfect world, and in a perfect world, there'd be no need for wars, for preemptive strikes and conflicts. Just a door from one log was hewn that the woodsman burled, and it's just for looks. In a perfect world, and we all would celebrate. As we stood before this gate, it's so marvelous, just like each one of us. In a perfect world, there'd be no accidents, for the happenstances, they'd all make sense. As each dot's connected, a flag's unfurled, that's what it would be like. In a perfect world, in a perfect world, there'd be no need for this, no need for that, because we'd find our bliss in the passing on to every boy and girl, our family's legacy. In a perfect world, now some will say you'll never see. Boy, you're living in a dream. Well, that's what singers do. Music move in a perfect world. In a perfect world. refused to shine, oh, when the sun refused to shine. How I want to be in that number, oh, when the sun refused to shine. You guys help us? Oh, when the saints go marching in, you know it, when the saints, so when the saints, how I want to be in that number, when the saints go marching.
Well, after John was just up here, I might as well just go sit back down because I'll never be able to do as good as what you did, John. Well, I start preparing my speech tonight, and I was starting at good evening. I changed that. What an evening we had tonight. With all our recipients, everything that's gone on. But I would like to start with a big round of applause for Robin Wilcox, our foundation director at Northwest State Community College Catering Service, college staff, and the many students of the community and community volunteers who did such a phenomenal job putting this event together. Let's have a round of applause. Everyone's effort has truly made this evening special, and thank you very much. Also, the Cakewalk and Jazz Band, Carrie Patrick Clark, they were outstanding with our entertainment tonight. Finally, I want to thank the many individuals and companies with their wonderful donations that went towards the silent auction, and we hope everyone has had the opportunity to place your bids on some of the very nice items that were provided. Thank you. As chair of the Northwest State Community College Foundation, and on behalf of the over 30 volunteers, congratulations go out to Mr. John Wilson, Rupe Seed, and the Walsion Rotary, our 2014 Making a Difference Award recipients. Tonight's Making a Difference recipients are being recognized for their outstanding support, services, and giving. These recipients encourage an attitude of recognizing the needs of others and responding to those needs, and in a personal and caring way, without expectations of reward or recognition. We had the pleasure of hearing their stories of passion, determination, and commitment for helping to make a difference. This in turn brings happiness and prosperity into many lives, which continues to have a ripple effect throughout our communities. It is this type of giving that should not only be recognized by their characteristics and actions, but what they feel is their obligation for giving back to our communities. Just as tonight's recipients do so much for many, so does our college and its foundation by working hard to generate the necessary dollars to support the many students who attend. Each year, this college and foundation provides a scholarship awards reception. This reception is designed so that students receive their scholarships have an opportunity to meet their donors responsible for investing in their lives. At this year's reception, we were pleased to announce a record-breaking $351,000 in scholarships to over 160 students. With that said, this green carpet event contributed to over $554,000 towards their scholarships. Ashley Shako, I commend you for you sharing your life story. Your caring commitment for your family is inspiration to all of us, and it is these types of acts of kindness that motivate our foundation so that others may succeed. The past few months, this college and foundation experienced the loss of 3 very good friends, Mr. Troy Ritchie, Mo Brubaker, and then 2 weeks ago, Mr. Norm Zeider. Both Mo and Norm were members of our foundation board, and all 3 were generous by supporting their campaigns and providing their scholarships in the name of the loved ones. They were pillars of our communities, very gracious throughout their region, and very giving with their friendship. You will truly be missed. Mr. John Wilson, Roop Seed, Wasion Rotary Club. You now join the list of Making a Difference Award recipients, which include Pamela Heyman Wiener, Chief Supermarket, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Maumee Valley Guidance, State Bank and Trust, Erie Sauter, Sarah's Garden, Farmer Merchant State Bank, Dean Spangler, Henry County Hospital, Judge Stephen Bird, and the Campbell Soup Company. It is clearly understood why you were chosen to be among this elite group of caring leaders who devote themselves and bring inspiration to those in our communities. For this, we thank you for making a difference in many lives that you have touched. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been said, all good things must come to an end. I think that is especially true with this evening. I hope everyone has enjoyed tonight's green carpet event, and from Northwest State Community College and its foundation, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to share with us this special evening, honoring these deserving Making a Difference Award recipients. Thank you and good night.